welcome to our third and final live session in which we are teaching you everything you need to know about the process of becoming a teacher in the United States. In this final live session, we are going to tell you what financial information do you need to know. How much do teachers make in the US? Is a teacher's salary enough to live well in the US? Either you are a single person or if you have a family, how much money will you potentially make in the US? And what is the difference between the salaries in the different states? Chris, just briefly tell me, do you today feel that your salary in the United States is sufficient for your lifestyle with your family? You have a husband and 2 children, right?
We are 4 people living here in the US, and I am the only one working by now, and it's more than enough. I live with my family here and we have a good life. We can do everything we want with my salary, and the kids are happy, my husband is happy as well. So for me, by now, it's enough.
Of course, that will depend on your lifestyle, that will depend on your financial choices, that will depend on what kind of house you want to live in, what kind of car you want to live in.
Yeah, but let me tell you one thing, the truth, always the truth. My lifestyle is like a poor person, just to be clear. Okay, my lifestyle in my home country was poor as well because, I cannot afford a Cybertruck, for example. Of course, right? I have an old car, but I live in a good house. I eat well. I don't have anything to complain, right? But just to be clear, a poor lifestyle, right?
But it's important to know that a poor lifestyle in America is way different than a poor lifestyle in different countries.
Way better than I had in Brazil.
Researchers say that if you make $30,000 a year, you are among the richest people in the world. And if you're coming with a teacher's salary, you will at least start with $45,000 a year. What we're saying is don't come with the expectation of making a lot of money.
Yeah. Being rich. I'm an American, now I'm rich. No,
you have become Elon Musk out of a sudden. No. That's not how it works, but you will have a lifestyle that will potentially be different than your home country's lifestyle and will give you access to things that you may not have access to in your home country.
Yeah, let me give you one quick example. For example, when I came here, I worked like 10 days and I bought the car that I have now. It's an old car. Yeah, it's a Hyundai, it's Santa Fe, I guess. And
you paid around $1,400, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's a cheap car. But in my home country, I would have worked for, years to pay the same car. So here I have access to things that in my home country I didn't have, which is really good.
Exactly. And that car is perfect for you, especially in the beginning years of your life in America. Then later you can plan to save money, potentially get a better car. But that will depend. But that's something you need to have in mind. Your financial decisions will not be much different in America. If you're coming with a mindset of spending a lot in maybe things that you don't need or trying to have a lifestyle that is above your salary, living in America, I'm sorry to tell you, you will not change your life because you might find yourself in debt or struggling. However, if you plan yourself well, if you can make a budget, if you know exactly how much you can afford, then living in the US can give you the opportunity of having access to things that you have never had before.
And do not forget that something that is priceless is the experience of living in America. Like my children, they are going to school, they are living things that they would never lived in Brazil, for example. So the experience is priceless, and that's why we are here, to have a better life, of course, to live new things, but to live this new whole experience.
Obviously, if your spouse is allowed to work and has a work permit, with 2 people working, your financial life will be much better. If you come with a J1 visa, then your spouse can apply for a work permit. Therefore, with 2 incomes, then I would say you have a very comfortable lifestyle in America. However, if you come with H-1B visa, there might be certain restrictions about whether or not your spouse is allowed to work. Now, in a little bit, I'm going to tell you more about teacher salaries in the US. I'm going to give you specific numbers of how much teachers make in America, but just know that our course has an entire module dedicated for that, where we show you real examples of teacher salaries, of teacher contracts, of salary and pay scales, and how to research teacher salaries. Now, Chris will tell you a little bit more about our online course and what benefits are we giving you that are watching these live sessions.
So far, I know that you're dreaming to be a teacher in the United States, but you don't know where to start, right? And imagine that you have all the guidance you need in just one place. And you're going to save time, avoiding costly mistakes, and fast tracking your journey to living and teaching in America, right, Caio? And our course, Teaching in America, is your ultimate roadmap with 6 detailed modules. We will cover everything you need. We have 6 modules. Let me see here everything that I will not forget. So module 1, understanding teacher salaries, is what he's going to cover today. But in our course, you have everything covered. Everything you need to know about it.
In detail.
In
right?
detail, yeah. And do not forget the taxes and maybe the health insurance, everything you need to know.
Because what you also need to know is that different states pay different kinds of salaries for teachers. And in our course, we're going to give you tips of which states pay you the most and which states pay you the least, and how you can research salary information even before applying for a job. It is actually possible, I don't know if you know this, that's not common in other countries, but you can know your salary before you apply for the job interview, because many times this is publicly available information. The US requires sometimes the school and the school districts, because they are publicly funded, to disclose salary information so the general citizen can know how much of their tax money is given to the teacher salaries. So you can also research these salaries, and in our course we give you detail in our first module about how to do that.
This is module number 1. Module number 2 is J1 visa for teachers, right? We are going to know everything in detail about the visa exchange visa program and how to find a position with this kind of visa, foreign credential evaluation, the form DS 2019 that you must have to apply for this kind of visa, how you fill out the DS 2016 form, everything you need to know about J1 visa.
We also have a full list of designated sponsors. We'll have a full list of free J1 sponsors, paid J1 sponsors. We'll give you tips on how to choose the best sponsors, but we'll give you all the links so you can research for this information by yourself.
Yeah. Module 3, H-1B visa for teachers. That's the work visa, the same visa that I came with. We are going to tell you how this process works and what do you need to know about it in detail.
And how to find jobs that sponsor H-1B teachers as well. We'll give you examples of websites that show you schools that have sponsored H-1B visas in the past, so you can apply for jobs in those schools.
Yeah. One good example is the district that we both work, right?
Yeah.
Here, they hire teachers with this kind of visa.
In Module 4, we're going to prepare you for your school interview. We're going to tell you how the American interview process works. There are things about the American interviews that might be slightly different than in home countries. One small example. Usually interviews in other countries are one-to-one. You have one interviewer and the candidate. Well, in America, it's different. Usually, I cannot say it's for all schools, but based on our experience and pretty much everyone we know, they have an interview committee containing sometimes other teachers that will give their input about whether or not they think you are qualified to work in that school. We're going to tell you these kinds of tips. We're going to teach you what kind of questions they might ask you. We're going to give you pretty much everything you need to know to be well prepared for your American interviews. And we also give you templates of resumes, because again, the CVs and resumes might be different between countries. We're gonna give you downloadable CV templates that you can download and make your resume in the American format. Our fifth module is called Settling in America, which is where we will teach you everything you need to know after you have arrived in the USA. This is honestly something that I wish I knew, because this is the big challenge. Honestly, finding a visa, finding a job offer, it's the easiest part. When you come here, there's just a lot that you need to know, and it takes a lot of time to mentally adapt, culturally adapt. And if you have information before that will help you in this preparation, this will be fundamental. Chris, can you tell me one example of something that was very hard for you when you first arrived in the US?
Simple things like opening a bank account. How do we do that? How to rent a house, the places that I have to look for, what documentation they ask, and like simple things like buying cars. How can we get the documentation? How do we do insurance for the car? Because here it's illegal when you drive without a car insurance.
Yeah.
Basic things that I didn't know, and I needed a lot of help to get settled with my family.
Exactly. And then we'll also teach you, if you're coming with a J2 visa, how to apply to a work permit for your spouse. And we'll also tell you more financial tips, how much money you should bring, and as well as how to register your kids for school. And if you're planning, for example, on studying in the US, for example, getting a master's or doctorate degree, what are some of the things that you need to know in order to do that? Then our final modules will cover how can you stay after your J1 or H1B visa. What are your green card options if that's something you are considering? If you're after your first years in the US, you've decided, I really want to continue here. What are my possibilities? We're gonna cover you different green card possibilities, either sponsored directly by the school or also applying for a green card yourself based on your qualifications. There are different ways. It's a lot of information. We will explain what your options are and where could you go about to start planning your stay after your J1 or H1B visa.
This is an exclusive, hard to find information. You have everything just in one place. And this will save you months of researching and guesswork. This kind of course will cost at least $500. At least. But for you that are here with us watching this series of free live sessions, we have a special offer for you. Just $99. $99. You have access to all of that information, right, Caio?
Yes.
Just $99. The link to be part of our team is here in the description of the live, and you can click there and be part of our team today. And we have just a gift for you, an extra gift. For those who join today, we are offering a free group mentorship program with Caio and me via Zoom. We are going to be with you, guiding you through this whole process, right? And this mentorship would cost at least $1,000.
I just told you that I paid $4,000 or $5,000 for my J1 process because I didn't have this information that we're giving today. This could cost a lot of money to give you a one-to-one guided mentorship.
You have access through all this information. Caio and me, we are going to answer every single question you have. And don't tell me that you're going to miss this chance. This is your single chance to be part of our team. And the value is really low because you're going to invest in your future and your family future, right? Because I'm quite sure that you want the best for you and for them. Join us now, today, and let's make your dream of teaching in the United States become a reality.
Let me tell you honestly, we're probably going to increase the price of the course not so long from now. The fact that we're giving you a free group mentorship via Zoom and all of the course content for only $99 is because we want to acknowledge that you are trusting us because you're going to be our first class to have access to this group, to our materials and to our online course and to our mentorship. We want to acknowledge and thank you for trusting us right from the beginning. We are starting right now. This is our honestly first live session that we're making. And that's why we're making this honestly in a low price, because as we continue growing, hopefully people will see the value of our content because there's just no one out there talking about right now. You can research by yourself. There's no one teaching you exactly what we're doing, how to become a teacher in the US step by step. We want to value you for trusting us to start this journey.
And the course link is in the description of this video. You can click here, be part of our team today, and let's get started, right? Your new career in the US awaits, right? So let's get started.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, coming back to the main topic of our third and last live session is we're going to tell you a little bit about financial planning. What do you need to know to plan yourself financially to teach in the USA? Now, there are many factors that you must have in mind when it comes to teacher salaries. Teacher salaries in the US can vary based on the location. Different states will pay different kinds of salaries for teachers. And it might also vary between certain school districts, even within a state. Just to give you an example, in our course, we will teach you how to find this information. But for example, New York and California are the states that will pay the highest teacher salaries. However, you must know that these are also the states that have the highest living costs. So yes, you have more money, but also you will pay higher rent, you will pay higher living costs in general. Whereas other states are considered among the lowest paying states for teachers. So there are differences, and in our course we give you specific information about which states pay the teachers the most and which states pay teachers the least, based on publicly available information. We're not telling you things from top of our head. We are giving you factual data. We are teachers, right? We know that there's a lot of fake information out there in the internet, so we're not gonna give you fake news. We're giving you information that is based on the US government website and on reputable news websites. Other things that will determine your salary are your experience. So how many years do you have in a classroom will count towards how much money you will make, and also your education level. So if you have a master's degree, for example, 99% of the time, you will have a better salary in the US because they value the fact that you have a higher advanced degree. You might be also asking yourself, how much do teachers make in the US? What are the teacher salaries? Now, just like we told you, it varies between states, it varies between schools districts, it varies based on your education and your experience, but on average, teacher salaries in America will start at $45,000 a year up to, on average, $90,000 a year. Just by I'm saying it, you're realizing something else, that salaries in the US are not determined on a monthly basis, but determined on an yearly basis. And that's for all full-time jobs in the US. So that is a big range. So I would say if you're a teacher just starting your career, you might start at $45,000, for example, if this is your first year teaching. But if you're a very experienced teacher with a master's degree or 2 master's degree, you might have a salary of, let's say, $90,000 a year, but that would depend on the state, on your credential, on your experience, and your academic background. And it's very important for you to understand the salary scales, okay? These are publicly available information that you can research online. You can go to Google and research for a specific salary of a specific school district, but sometimes there's a lot of data, there are tables, and you might just not understand. In our course, we explain you how to read a teacher salary scale and how to know your salary based on your qualification and your academic background, as well as your experience, even before applying for a job. So then your question is a teacher's salary enough to live in the US? Again, we've just explained that will depend on your lifestyle, but based on our experiences, we have a better quality of life than we had in our home countries. We are not rich. I'm not saving thousands of dollars.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
I don't have, the best iPhone. I don't have the best 2025 car model, but I have a quality of life that I consider way better than I had in my home country.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But then you need, as always, to budget. So you need to know how much rent you will pay, how much your utilities will cost. So things like water, electricity, internet, gas, transportation, how much does a car cost, groceries, how much you will pay for food every month, healthcare, how much will you potentially spend in your health, either it is a health insurance or how much does it cost even with a high health insurance to do a certain medical procedure. We are going to explain to you in detail how to plan financially for your life in America. And just to give you some final words, let me tell you something. The USA needs teachers. Teachers are among the most needed professions across the USA. There are thousands of teaching positions open every year, and I don't see this pattern changing. I actually only see, based on US economic data, that the US economy tends only to grow. With that, lots of jobs are open every day, and that means that many teachers that work in American schools, sometimes they just go ahead and find other jobs. So that leaves schools needing teachers.
In some positions, they have opened for quite a while because they can't find people to fill in these positions. You can be a teacher here because they need you, right? They can't find all those people to fill in all these positions.
Exactly. Look it up right now. Teacher shortage in the US. And you see that the numbers are actually concerning. There are lots of teaching positions open every year, and many schools, they just don't know what to do about it. They sometimes end up getting unqualified teachers, but giving them temporary licenses just because they need someone to be in the classroom with the students.
Yeah. And let me tell you one thing. I've never felt so valued as I feel here, because they appreciate us, like our job, our effort to be here, because it's not easy changing countries. Let's tell
Not
the
at all.
truth. No,
Yeah.
it's not easy.
There will be lots of challenges.
Yes, but they value us, and they tell us every single day that we are important here. And this makes me feel happy because I know that they care about us. Especially the school that I'm working with, all the people there, they treat me so well. And I feel that I'm part of the school since day one. Something like this, it didn't happen in my home country, because teachers sometimes are not so welcome to each other, right? But here is completely the opposite. I really feel welcome, and I'm happy being a teacher here in America.
Of course, experiences can vary, right?
Of course,
Between states and the school
Yes.
districts. Not everyone is the same, but we're sharing you our
Experience, yes.
100%. But then you realize that even though there is a clear pathway, The process might be complex. You might have a lot of questions in your mind right now, but we want you to know that it's achievable. We did it. We came from another country and we're teaching here with our qualifications from our home country. So there is a clear process, but it's not an easy one. Having the right guidance will make 100% difference in the process. And we're hoping that you can trust us to be your guides in this process. Our course, again, will walk you through. We're gonna carry you by hand. We're gonna walk with you, and we're gonna tell you everything you need to know step by step. Honestly, we're building this for the Chris and Kyle of the past. We're building something that we wish we had when we decided to come and teach in America, because this would have made a significant difference in our journey.
Yeah, and we are ready to have you in our team. Do not forget to click in the link in this video to be part of this incredible journey that we are what?
We are helping you walk through.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for watching, and see you in future.
I hope to see you in our team.
Why not? Maybe see you in the US.
Yes, right? Let's have a party together.
Why not?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you. Bye.